So what we're going to cover in this video is how to pre-stress the wheel. You may be asking yourself, what is pre-stressing a wheel? A lot of people don't know what it is, including a lot of wheel builders, but it is a trick that I picked up along the way, and it essentially will make your wheel set last about 10,000 miles without needing any work at all, unless you shove a stick through it while you're riding or do something that bends up a spoke or bends the rim itself. So let's see if I can find one here. Actually, I'm just going to start and go through all of them. You can probably hear the thing popping as they bed in. So what we're going to do is we'll get the wrench in between two spokes like this and then push on it. Try not to bend the spokes, but we want to push on it just to increase our tension and then let it go. That one didn't bed in. This one's actually already bedded in once. Oh, you heard that? Yeah, pop, pop, ting. Yeah, that one definitely lost its tension. Let's see, I'm just gonna go around and pre-stress all of these. Oh yeah. Lots of creaking. And that tells me that these would have probably come loose, first 1,000 miles of riding, maybe sooner, that they would have ended up having some spokes that drop down in tension. So we'll go back to our 3/16 inch wrench for the Supermoto wheels that Lunicycle is selling. There we go, there's one. So when you add tension to a nipple, you always want to add the tension and then back it off just a little bit to take the twist off of the spoke, because there is friction in between the nipple and the threaded section on the spoke, and that little bit of friction essentially will make the spoke twist. And we'll go through one side. A little too high there. Yeah, I'll call that good enough. Now I'll just flip this around so you can see the other side. And typically you would probably use an axle from the bike to actually throw this into a true ring stand. I've just got a big old wrench in there, no big deal. All right, so we'll go to the other side. Yeah, all kinds of creaking action on this. Let's see if any of them loosened up. Oh yeah. A little. Ooh. The only downside about doing this with your ear is that in a loud shop you can't hear what you're doing. So I usually have to step away from my shop if I'm going to be building wheels. It's just a lot easier for me to do it with the audio feedback than any other way. They do make tension meters that you clip onto your spoke. They're technically a deflection meter where it puts, I'll just illustrate this way. It has a bar that the spoke sits on, and then it puts a known pressure on it and deflects the spoke. And then you essentially have to calculate, well, for this diameter spoke along this distance of deflection, I know that a certain amount of deflection is going to end up being a certain tension on the spoke. When you change the length of the spoke, or if you change the diameter of the spoke, it changes what your meter is actually reading. So it's more of a guide of let's see what all of our spokes are on this wheel in comparison to each other, than a real measurement of what the tension is on the wheel. So I usually just use my ear because it's a lot cheaper than the $400 tension meters that they sell for building wheels. I've never had a problem doing that. So I've already done the wrench, pre-stressed them pretty good, and usually I'll go back in, kind of give them a little snug with the hands. I can feel that the nipples are bedding in more here. Let's see if we can, you hear the little pops. If we get the mic close enough, it's a very subtle sound. So it does feel like they did not use a lubrication. They did not use a lubricant in between the nipple and the rim when they built this bike, and that's one thing that'll help, like with the twist that I was talking about. When you put tension onto the nipple, that you have to back it off just a little bit to prevent twist. That'll kind of help a little bit, along with having proper lubrication inside the nipple where the thread's attached to the spoke. So yeah, that's pretty much it on it. I could go through and do this a couple more times if I wanted to, but as it sits right now, I would probably call it good. It's not the most high dollar wheel set, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, honestly. But yeah, it's a pretty quick procedure, and if you get one of these wheel sets and you want to make sure that it goes into action right away and then does not need to be retensioned after about 100 to 1,000 miles, then pre-stressing the wheel is a great idea. I do it on all my wheels that I build for myself and also for other customers, at least when I used to do wheel builds. We haven't done that in a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions about the wheel builds, feel free to give me a holler, and see you next time.